Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fuzzy on the Details. We've got AIM Team 2 out of 3 today, not AIM Team 2. So we've got the Jen and Mark show today. So to give you guys a recap of what we did since it's been a minute, the guys encountered some shield agents that were not shield agents while trying to rescue Chess Roberts and her cameraman, get them back to the safety of the AIM headquarters. These these Shield folks wound up being a little extra strong, extra durable, extra milky, let's say. And finally, when you guys took them out, you realized that they were some type of synthetic humanoid, a little different than at least the files AIM had on. AIM's got some experience working with synthetic humanoids. They're at least aware of LMDs, life model decoys. This seemed to be like a parallel branch of development, let's say, that was heretofore unknown to them. So you collected them up, put them on ice using Mark's cold-based weapons on his mech suit, and headed on back to home base. Now, before we get into the adventure, let's talk about what we've done with getting schooled. We did have a tough battle that game, so you guys each ticked off one more box. Jen, let's start with you. What did Jen Sudo take?
Yeah, so she took post-cognition
Mhm.
one, which allows her to know what happened within the last 6 hours. And we're going to consider it tech-enabled, although she's not going to tell her compatriots exactly how she got it or
Yep.
what she's doing if she uses that.
Yeah, and this I think is a great example of, we had this character concept that was based off of Jen's personality type of always knowing what somebody wants and needs and the perfect executive assistant in that way. And it sort of developed into some of these powers that would ordinarily be reserved for a mutant like Destiny, let's say. But we talked about some ways that this could be a little tech enabled, and it's just nice little skinning, little flavor. And yeah, I'm excited to see how that works out. Van, what did Mark uh, uh, learn in the last game?
Marcus has learned that he is invulnerable, invincible, and he is nearly a god because he did not die. Uh, Ultimately, that was his takeaway. His takeaway was like he got he got like half his hit points like wiped out, and you know saw the whole like hyper dramatic, I'm coming for the light, and it never came. And then he realized that the only possible understanding is because therefore he is invincible, immortal, and is, again, like I said, nary a god. And
He
so
doesn't need Jen anymore to keep him safe.
I don't think
Oh.
I don't think I need anything anymore. In fact, these suits are awfully confining. Um, so yeah, it really comes down to his awareness, his getting schooled. I threw another point into his resilience,
Mhm.
and so that's going to up his health from 60 to 90, just because of where I was in the agility in the resilience
Mhm.
score, which is going to help him persist with this delusion that he is invulnerable.
Right. Nice. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so we're gonna say there's I don't want to say a time jump, but naturally, I think Jen was a little injured. Marcus doesn't have to worry about that, but Jen was a little injured, so
Because I'm a god.
mere mortals have to worry about such things, but not Marcus, not the pincushion.
Yes, exactly.
So, so yeah, and the other team had taken some time off too. So I think just to get the two timelines to align, we're going to just take a couple days here to both convalesce and also a lot has happened that the team is going to sort of ingest by reviewing a lot of the videotape, the recordings, the digital recordings that the other team made while they were out on their missions. Now, the big thing is the other team did get to explore a little more of Avengers Tower. They were able to get into the ship. So their last game, they were able to get into the ship for the first time, do a little exploring, and then come back. And the sum total of what happened was the following. One, 2 games ago for them, they encountered a couple of Avengers while they were, well, ex-Avengers, while they were exploring the tower, zombified Avengers, in fact, including one Natasha Romanoff and one Clint Barton. And those 2 zombies were taken out by that AIM team. Moreau, who was like their sniper slash medic, got hit pretty hard by zombie Hawkeye. And between the zombie threat and him kind of just taking that big hit, he spent the next couple of days kind of like up in a bell tower, not on the roof because this building doesn't have a roof anymore, but one of the upper floors that was still safe with his sniper rifle and a thermos of coffee and just ping, 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 just spent a good 2 days just taking out zombies, which really cleared out the whole area. Now there are still spores in the area, so it's still dangerous from that perspective, but the actual zombies are mostly contained at this point. The other thing that happened is once they got into the ship, they came across more like evidence of dead, deceased Avengers and Avengers adjacent characters. They came across an Iron Man suit. And inside the Iron Man suit was an ex Tony Stark. They found the remains of a human. We were joking. It was just a skeleton with a goatee, a nice, neatly trimmed goatee. Oh, it must be Tony. But we'll say there was like an arc reactor, like in him. So it's like, all right, that's kind of distinguishing. It's got to be Tony Stark. However, when they found the armor, it was kind of moving in this herky jerky motion, and they opened it up, and what we would know as a chest burster came out of the armor. They were able to contain it and bring it back to camp. They also, a little bit later, came across another one of those TSLS creatures with the tentacles, and those things are pretty smart. The TSLS almost opened up the doors of a hatchery that had about 5 alien xenomorph eggs in it. And the TSLS and they were able to get to like a lever and like close it up just as like the face huggers were coming out and hitting the glass and sliding down. So pretty tense moment there. One of the face huggers got out. They were able to kill it. They also discovered its acidic blood, and they were able to save some of the blood and bring it back. So, and they were able to run some studies on it. Well, so we'll say that some of those studies are happening right now, like in it's a game that we already recorded, but I'll release after this. They started to run some experiments on it. Like the timelines will align, and I'll share with you kind of what some of those studies were. But so, like the first day, you guys are just taking all this in. So the big things are, you know, 3 sort of close to original Avengers are dead. We have evidence that there's more. There was at least one more TSLS out there. We have evidence that there are both face huggers, xenomorph eggs, and chest bursters out there. We have a chest burster that was taken into captivity, and we have acidic blood. And there's a lot of testing being done on all of those things. So we'll say you have like a good half day where you're just watching video and taking all this in. Anything in particular either come to mind or actions you think you might take as that is happening? Let's start with Marcus.
The big thing is the just the curiosity, um, coincidence between their acid blood and what I've noticed about myself,
Hmm.
you know, that I have no idea if it's just coincidence or whether there's actually a link. I think Marcus would probably just think it's a coincidence.
Hmm.
Um, Maybe start to wonder like what the hell AIM, maybe for the first time, start to wonder what the hell AIM actually like injected him with, injected him with all those, dozens of times before.
Hmm.
But that's the real big curiosity at this point.
Yeah. Was there anything you want to do to indulge that curiosity?
Well,
And I don't mean
I
just like
think,
in a sneaky way. It's like, you know they are running experiments. They videotape all of them. They are held out in the
yeah, I
open. They
guess, I guess I'd inquire and ask. There's a point where once I've done the tests, once I've done sort of like my own little verification that indeed I
Mhm.
am invulnerable, and like we were talking about before,
Mhm.
I, I cut myself and I see myself heal, and so I know that I'm invulnerable. And then I notice the knife where the fork is corroding. That's one and one equals two. And then I look at what the aliens and the alien blood, and that's corrosive. I that's that's too much of a coincidence.
Yeah,
So
we'll say the timing
I'll
certainly is
yeah, so I'll
interesting.
go and I'll ask him like, basically, what the fuck? Um, is this is the first time that I've ever heard about these things?
Hmm.
Is this, I guess, the first time that AIM has ever heard about these
Yep.
things?
Yep. First time I've ever heard about it. And in fact, like you can go down to the one of the rooms where they're conducting some of the testing, and we'll say a number of the scientists are there. Dr. Crowder is there leading it, and we'll say both Dr. Cade and Phinnegan, Dr. Phinnegan, are there as well. So both of the PC scientists and their NPC mentor, and they are enraptured in this test. They're they what they do, what they have right now is they have one of these vials that they were able to save some of the blood. And they're talking about all the different materials they've tested it on and how certain materials like the the room that these eggs were in seemed to have some kind of special space plexiglass, whatever that was resistant. But there were certain things in the room that weren't. Um, and they have this chest burster, or what you maybe saw on the video. You saw like slightly larger than the movies because this thing had been feasting upon what remained of Tony Stark inside his armor for a couple of days.
That's like the big spidery thing, right?
Yeah, the thing that came out of John Hurt and
Yeah.
was like, "Hello, my baby."
Yeah.
Hello, yeah, that one. But this is bigger by the time you see it on
Hmm.
video. It's developed more. It's like limbs are more fully developed. Its head is a little bit
Hmm.
elongated. It's darkened in color, and it looks like it's
Hmm.
got this carapace that has this metallic sheen on it that almost makes it almost always look moist. And so it's growing. It's definitely the size of like a large dog at this point, and they have it chained up to kind of hold it in place. So it's got four chains on it, and it's being held in place with these taut chains as they begin to with a robotic hand drip some acid on it, and the acid comes out of this test tube, and it hits the head of the alien. Alien doesn't even react. It kind of drips down a little bit, hits the platform that it was on. It was made out of some sort of metal, and it
Space
starts
plexiglass.
eating through the metal. And then what you notice, and you notice the scientists pick up on this as well, is um, the alien creature sort of tilts its head and looks up at the acid that's being dripped on it, which is it's not its blood, the blood of one of the face huggers that uh, it was part of the same brood or something.
Mhm.
Um, and then positions itself in a certain way, tilts its head, positions itself so the acid that is still dripping down hits the chain and the collar.
Nice.
And it doesn't have eyes, so you can't really say that it was looking at it, but the way it tilted its head had a very purposeful movement to it. And as soon as that happens, you see smoke starting to come up and it jerks its head and one of the chains breaks. And as soon as that happens, there's like this psh, all of the smoke from inside the room. Like an alarm was hit, and this similar to your cryogenic suit. This cold gas comes and starts to like hit the thing, and you hear it scream. Um, but at first it just sounds like a
I
scream.
was about to say,
Uh,
understand spoken language.
yeah, but then it sort of morphs into something that could be considered language. Let's say at this point it's the equivalent of a toddler. So it's a proto language, let's say. Um, so it's not sentences. It's not anything other than a concept. So instead of just a
Also a
scream,
scream in pain.
yeah,
So
like you hear like not just like pain, but like confusion, loss, loneliness. Like the sounds are communicating basic concepts the way a language would. It's just done so like as a toddler that only knows a few words could do it. And we'll say as soon as that alarm goes off and they usher you. Let's say there's a couple other people like looking too. The scientists all usher all of you guys out of the room, shut the door, but you can still hear the language kind of echoing in your head.
and so that's gonna give Marcus a little bit of a character beat because he was all ready to go in there and be like, look, I figured this out that like, I heard these things have acid and like and that now I'm invulnerable and apparently I have acid and I was gonna like talk to them. This might be the first time that Marcus actually had empathy for another creature being experimented on, ne'er I say tortured by A.I.M. And so rather than really like sharing and giving them information about like his questionable acid, he's gonna keep that to himself because there's a level of him being invulnerable, a god, a superhero, like invincible, unkillable. That's different than being, just some schmuck who's trapped in a lab.
Right.
And he's been the pincushion, he's been the lab rat for a long enough period of time in his life. And initially he was thinking that that's what he was, that's all he was good for. Then he figured out that he didn't die, so he's destined for greater things. And he's now a little bit concerned about being put back in the lab rat uh, container again. So yeah, he's gonna think who he shares that with. I mean, obviously, it's gonna get out eventually if he actually keeps experimenting with it and keeps using it. I'm certain there's corroded forks and knives in his that like somebody's noticed at this point.
Whole drawer full.
But like I think he's got to do that with somebody he trusts,
Right.
not just like, the general AIM lackeys.
Right.
And you know, hmm, hmm.
Okay. So while
Yeah,
you're
didn't really expect for like empathy from the get his empathy triggered by the facehugger queen.
So as this is going on, Jen, let's say, you probably spend a good first day just kind of in bed, just relaxing. Maybe at some point, Sophie stops by to see how you're doing, see if you need anything. Um, uh, since you were a little too injured to go have your session with her, typical post session, check in, she stops by, sits on the side of your bed and asks, like, hey, how you doing? Is there anything, are you okay, mentally, physically, you know, uh, anything you need to talk about?
Well, and my apologies if the dog barking makes it through. The dogs are barking at something right now, but hopefully not.
Hmm?
That she really was kind of taken aback with those faux shield agents. So
Mhm.
I think she would want to talk that through. And then also I think she would be asking Sophie like how are the other members doing? Like Team One after finding Avengers death, that must
Yeah.
have really made them distraught. So I'm very interested in hearing what Sophie has to say about the others.
Yeah. She's probably careful not to divulge details. Unless you want to press her a little bit, and I will allow an ego check to
Yeah,
influence her.
I think she might
Okay.
try a little bit of ego. Of course, ego is not Jen's strong suit,
Right.
but got a 16.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna set it as a hard one for 15. So yeah, 16.
And yeah.
Yeah. So I'll say, she begins to speak in generalities, but then slips into some detail. So and she says, as you can imagine, the I'm sure you saw it on the video, and maybe you have like and when she pops in, you're reviewing the videotape of, you've got hours and hours worth of video that you're looking through just to make sure you've got things, and you've got all five of the feeds coming in. And one thing maybe you notice is the first day of feeds, like all five members are in the same room. And then there's this exchange of blows between Moreau, who is their sniper and their medic, who has some field training. Well, you and he he got along fairly famously, as being perhaps the most competent and experienced, at least, of everyone. He almost takes Hawkeye out with like one pretty amazing shot that is like practically a curve the bullet situation, like through combat, takes the shot, maybe even here on the camera, him like give a rare, like, oh, like that was fucking good. And then the zombie raises his bow and arrow and like returns the volley, and you see the arrow cut like, with the purple feathers, they're kind of coming right at him, and it hits him like almost takes him out in one shot. They wind up winning, but one, he was injured from that and needed to convalesce himself. And then for the next 2 days, you see that he's like his feed is he's up in a tower, like he's up somewhere in a tower. He's up on a higher floor in various windows overlooking the area, and he's taken out zombies, left and right. And that's kind of what he's focusing on. Just like clearly, he single-handedly clears, you know, blocks of New York of zombies shooting at like super far range. He's just like something got into him. And between you happen to be reviewing this, we'll say that that comes out. So you kind of know for sure that the Moreau maybe was not handling this well. Some of the other guys were a little more, um, in some cases, like ecstatic about, getting their hands on Iron Man armor.
Hmm.
Well, what are all the different things we can do with this? They've been running experiments with the arc reactor because the building has been relatively low on power. AIM has got its own generators, but nothing close to an arc reactor. And they're running some experiments now to kind of bring power to more of the upper levels, so you could theoretically clear those out and make some more space. We've got the CBNC crew up on the second floor right now, so the second floor has been cleared. Minimal power. They're trying to get some connectivity with the outside world. They're having some limited success, but having the arc reactor up and running would really help them. So that's what the team is focusing on right now. Um, yeah, anything else you want to ask her about? We'll say with that roll of a 16, she can, if there's anything you want to follow up on, she'd probably be happy to do it at least for one follow up before she catches herself.
Um, so we know that I guess some of the Avengers had been made into zombies.
Yeah, two of them. Yeah, she says the two of them, Black Widow and Hawkeye, were zombified, and you saw that on the screen.
Yeah.
That's when Moreau took that hit. But she'll say something else, and you're aware of the experiments, but some other type of alien must have gotten to Tony Stark. Something happened there. The doctors are still trying to figure out the genetics of it. It's kind of weird. There's like these multiple species, but they all seem like they're related somehow, although
Hmm.
their DNA is different. I don't know. I mean, you know them. This
Oh
is
yeah.
such a big deal to them, and all the ramifications of this. And
Not going to hear from Dr. P for days, I'm sure.
yeah, I mean, they
He'll
were
just
talking about how there are eggs, but there's no evidence that the this alien that they have has a gender. So are they really eggs? And the thing that came out of the eggs that they fought, these things with these, and we'll say you definitely saw some first person video of like a face hugger jumping off the ground, the hands, the fingers, the claws going wide and like clomping onto somebody's mask, and the proboscis on the inside trying to get inside the mask and get down their throat, and like horror show stuff. But it did give them some good first person. Like most people don't get that view and survive around the face
age.
hugger, but this because of the AIM suit, they were able to get that. And so between that and then identifying what happened with Tony Stark, where they found the remains of a face hugger that had fallen off his face while he like basically they think something must have happened to him. He retreated into the suit to kind of like see if he could diagnose, self-heal, whatever, but that didn't go well. Embryo got shot down into him, and then the chest burster came out.
Mhm.
But that's what their theory is. But like biologically, like this doesn't make any sense because these aliens seem like different species, but they're
Right.
somehow connected to make this thing that they've got now, which doesn't even look like the thing that came out of Tony Stark's chest. So I was like, these things are evolving rapidly, and they have some theories about how they are reacting to their environment and presence or absence of other members of its species. Like even things like the eggs would open up when something that was a host would come by, a potential host would come by. The egg itself would open up. So it's like, is the egg like a species too? Like, how does the egg know to open up when something that's got, a throat and warm blood walks by? Like, how does that happen? So they've got a ton of questions that they're just rapid firing, throwing theories at. And she said, yeah, if you want to go,
Amazing.
get the details from them, I'm sure they'd be happy to talk to you at length.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Maybe at this point she realizes that she's been a little too chatty, so she says, "Well, I've got a couple other people I need to check on, but yeah, don't shoot me a DM if you need anything. Maybe she
Oh, I
brings you
will.
like a little a couple snacks or something like that. She's like, "Here, eat these before Mark and Mickey finish them off."
Thanks. They do eat all the snacks.
All right. So she'll take her leave. Um, so we'll say that's day one, more or less, goes by. So you guys get a good night's sleep. We'll say by this point, Jen, you're kind of up to full
Well, I don't know
health.
if it's a good night's sleep after watching all those videos.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It is, yeah. Fitful night's sleep.
Yeah.
But restful in that you get your health back up to max. Um, and we'll say in the morning, Mark, you're woken up by the sounds of this language, kind of like in the distance, and it's already more evolved than it was yesterday. Like, it's no longer just brute concepts. It's questions that are being asked. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, you hear
Like what?
where are you? But the word for you is not a great translation. It's sort of like where are us? It's kind of like the word that it gets translated to in your head. And sometimes if there's a word that doesn't get translated well, you kind of know it. And
Hmm.
maybe it's in your mind, it's kind of like underlined as like, yeah, we really don't have the word for this. So you probably
Feels
should
sloppy.
use the original word.
Hmm. Wow. Is it just a singular voice or is it multiple voices?
Just one voice. It sounds like the one from yesterday. The same
Okay.
quality.
All right. I'll go and, you know, I it's funny, it's whiplash for him since he was like abject terror and cowardice until he realized that, he's invulnerable
Mhm.
and now and he thought he was all hot shit for like a day and a half until he realized that like invulnerable or not, he could probably be captured and made into a lab rat again. And so now I'm gonna like I'll be cautious and try to act all suave and like you know nonchalant and be trying to like find out where that creature is again.
Yeah. I mean, there's
What's going
only
on?
three, floors, so, three sub-levels here,
Yeah.
and we'll say this stuff is definitely on sub-level three, but you've got access to that, and you know that the scientists have
Okay.
been spending a lot of time there, and you could probably figure out where that was in the dark based on your ability to kind of pinpoint that sound.
Yeah. I'll go for a stroll and try to be all casual and be like, so what's going on, guys?
Oh, funny meeting you guys here.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, yeah, so we'll say
see
they
if I can
are.
see if I can see it again.
Yeah, yeah. You see it, and it's like a Great Dane size now. Like yesterday, maybe it was like Rottweiler size. Today, it's twice the size. And we'll say that there's evidence that they've been feeding it things. You see like all sorts of things there, and maybe they're talking about like they have no idea if what they're feeding it is of nutritional value, is better than, is this rate of growth normal? Is it not? Like they're trying to figure out like if what they're doing is speeding along this growth or holding it back in some way.
Hmm. So there's obviously like different carcasses and food and stuff like that in there.
Yeah, there's
I'm just gonna casually,
hmm,
you know, very much like somebody going up to a exhibit in a zoo or something like that. I'll go up there and like, you know, tap on the glass and, be like, you know, how do you like what they're feeding you, buddy? And just like completely just like a jerk, like anybody else would be at a zoo or anything like that.
right.
Um,
Um,
does anything does anything tickle the back of my language center in my brain?
uh, give me I mean, I'll let you decide based on your approach, but give me either a logic or an ego check.
Let's
Target
do a
number
logic check.
13, let's say.
Non-combat logic check says exactly a 13.
Okay.
And if I need to, I can do the whole re-roll for Charmed Life.
Oh,
Actually, no,
yeah.
Charmed Life. Let me do that again. Charmed Life gains an edge on any single action check each round. Is this considered an
Yeah.
action check?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so it's a 2, 3, 6. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll the Marvel
Mhm.
and see, and I'll re-roll and 2, 6, 6. So I got a 16.
Okay.
Wow, and
Um,
the graphic in Demiplane for it to like change. So now the 6 Marvel is now all white. Did something change in how
yeah.
they
Oh,
update
cool.
the application?
I'll have to try that.
Anyway,
Yeah, so with the success, you are able to understand it and speak it. Whether or not you want to do that is up to you. So you are speaking English at it,
hmm
um, and it does respond, and it tilts its head at you, and it's reminiscent of the way it tilted its head at the acid dripping down on it, like
hmm
just noticing it. Again, no eyes, but it orients itself at you, and it kind of prowls up to the glass and then bangs its head on the glass. And its jaws go wide, and you can see the saliva, like dripping down. Um, and the language you get is like uh, something like it's expressing its desire not to be taunted. That it doesn't like this. Like this is not funny, or this is not maybe funny isn't the word, but this is not good. This is not right. I do not like this. The fact that you're not responding, that you're almost responding in like a dominant way rather than in a em-
Oh,
empathetic way, is annoying it a little bit.
that's fair.
But the same level of annoyance it has for like every creature in this room.
Sure.
So in other
But I
words, you
also
feel
have,
like you've been looped into the existing feelings this thing has for
sure,
its tormentors.
it's it's in a box and I'm not. So
Right.
it's angry at everything that's outside the box.
Right.
And however, though, it also feels like I could possibly make noises of some sort that this thing could potentially comprehend. However, I'm surrounded by scientists.
Yeah, but we'll say right now it is pretty up close to you. So I'd give you,
You want to do those the let me see. Translation, understand spoken
yeah.
language. When a character encounters an
Here's what I'm
unknown
thinking.
spoken
Like,
language for the first time, they can make a logic check versus trouble number 13 action check to puzzle it out. We just
right.
did
And so
that.
you already made that.
If
Yep.
they already know any other version of the language, they have an edge. On success, they understand they can speak the language. On a fantastic success, they permanently understand and can speak it. and never have to make a check for it again. So
Right.
it did
So we'll
not do a
say in this
fantastic.
scene, like we'll consider
Yep.
that that's good enough roll for this scene. If you leave and come back, it'll have to be another roll. But
Understood.
we'll say I'll let you make another check, and this will be um we'll just say the following. If you fail it, so target number 13, right?
Don't
You
fail.
you already made it. So I'll give you the edge because you know this language and you're just trying to this
Okay.
is an extra roll. So I'll give you an edge on that. But if you fail, they will understand the other people in the room, the scientist will understand what you're doing. But come on,
Ooh.
you've got two edges. I mean, so you've got one edge. You got a roll. You already made one pretty easy, and then you got an edge on it. What are
Oh,
the chances this could go wrong? Pretty slim, I'd say.
I just rolled another 13, and that's
Nice.
without any edge.
All right, so you can go ahead
So
and roll a
five, five,
Marvel.
and one. So it's a five, five, and a one. So I'm going to go ahead and re-roll the one.
No, I would say like you've already made it, so you're
Oh, that's
close,
true. That's
but
true.
but
Yeah.
you
All right.
you
Reroll,
you know
reroll for the marble.
yeah,
Yep.
I'm not gonna say
Reroll
that.
for the marble, and now I went down. Went to a 14, so it's a 5, 6, 1.
Okay, hey,
So
cool.
anyway,
All right, yeah. So we'll say you get really close, and uh, you're kind of experimenting with some of these languages for the first time. So it's your first time
yeah, just making
vocalizing them.
making noises and like
Yeah, so it's
whatever,
coming across,
click,
but
click, click.
it does like instantly like turn its head right towards you and cock its head. What are you trying to communicate to it?
Um, since it was just offended that I was being cavalier, that was not my goal. Um, the question of like the question of what does it prefer to eat is 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 really the truth. You know, what would you like to eat? You know, and I
Oh,
kind of gesture around at like, you know, the carcasses and the food and things, you know, whatever's on in the enclosure and whatnot.
yeah, he looks at the whatever bones and wrappers and whatever garbage is on the floor, and then he just turns his head and looks at the scientists.
I guess, I guess, I guess what else?
And I
Would you
guess
like to?
the word he would
I was
use is
thinking more
like,
along the lines like, did you like the goat or the
yeah, um,
No, he'd like the scientists.
um,
Hmm.
yeah. And I'm actually thinking like I don't know that AIM would be able to just get its hands on like a side of beef. Like, they're not really like set up for this. So that might have to be something they try and go out and like find somehow. Even that would be tough because anything that was in a fridge or a freezer probably is by this point gone rotten if it lost power. So
I
probably
figured they probably
difficult.
would have like walked. I figured they would have probably walked in like, you know, again, a goat or, you know, baby goat, baby pigs or something like that. But like
Yeah,
that's,
just like where do you get a baby pig in New York City, like Midtown?
there are places you can get, there's places in Midtown that you can get live livestock. Yes. I know you can,
Where?
I know,
Where?
I know you can buy live chickens in
Yeah,
the middle of Manhattan because there's Santeria and
yeah.
Haitian stores.
Well,
So,
let's say the best because anything that was in captivity is probably gone. Like the best that could
yeah,
be done.
I'm not saying it's easy, but like, you know,
Yeah. And it's, a lot of stuff probably could be zombified too. Anything
it's
that doesn't
true.
have a mask. So yeah, we'll say it's actually pretty tough. It'll be pretty tough to get meat around here. Anything that wasn't frozen in a facility that had backup power. So maybe a hospital or something,
Okay,
maybe. But your average steakhouse is not going to have, freezers that
gotcha.
are going to last this long.
All right. Hmm. Hmm. I don't even know what to do then.
And then, as he's like, looking at the scientist and then kind of turning his head and looking back at you, um, he will he will make more noises at you and basically ask like, "Are you us?"
My answer is I don't know because there's a lot, especially now that there's a conversation happening. I am very aware that like if they're trapped in a lab. I'm not really all that thrilled about
Yeah.
being trapped in a
And
lab myself.
his response will be like almost a repetition of I don't know either.
Yeah.
And then he'll just
Mm.
go back to like pacing. Uh just kind of like skulking around and he's again he's orienting. I don't want to say looking because there's no evidence this thing has eyes, but it's
Yeah.
orienting. It seems to be observing somehow the corners of the room. Like it's just keeping an eye out. It's staring at the scientists. And we'll say at this point,
Yeah.
you know,
Almost like a tiger like pacing the cage.
yeah, very much so. We'll say at this point, Dr. Finnegan and Dr. Cade come up to you and they ask like, what was that interaction? And they're looking at you. That must be because you're new. Like they didn't recognize you. And they're just smelling to see if you smelled any because everyone's wearing the same yellow jumpsuit, so it shouldn't be reacting to you differently than anyone else. So they're fussing about you right now to see if there was anything about your your character that might have created that response. Uh, so at the very least, you kind of know, all right, their eyes are on you, like you can't continue the conversation
Yeah.
right now, at least not without like a penalty die, let's say.
Yeah. Entirely don't know. And like, I don't know. It's just weird fucking thing.
Yeah. Right. Let's
It's
go back to Jen.
growing fast. I make some
Yeah.
benign comment about like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe like you say like you accidentally hit the glass, when you came in because you were shocked about how big these things were getting.
Well, I did specifically say I
Yeah.
tapped the glass.
Yeah. Yeah. So now they're going and they're tapping the glass. They're trying to get the same
All right.
response, and you just hear like you hear the thing like utter a disdainful word. It's not necessarily actually the word is pray, but it's the intonation is the way somebody would say, "You fucking idiots." It's just like typical pray, like
Mm-hmm.
implying
Yeah.
that pray is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and then, but then after that anger is gone, it's just it goes back to pacing, and it's like it's just wanting to get out.
Sure.
All right, back to Jen. Um, Jen, you are you are in your room.
Mhm.
You have a couple communication devices on or about your person. You've got your regular phone you use to keep appointments in, keep track of people's events and whatnot. You're typically on that a lot during your day to day. You've got your AIM communication, which is probably on the inside of your helmet. So you could always be in touch. There's a heads up display. You can use voice commands to bring up images on the inside of your helmet, so you can like watch a screen over here while reading something in front of you, while observing the room around you. But then you've got another device maybe that no one knows about, that you receive special communications on. Where do you think that one is? Is that an implant? Is it a hidden in something? Like where do you think this?
Hmm.
phone is.
Well, I think I get a notification in an implant, but then I need to go find the object in my room. Let's see.
Okay.
Or okay, it's something that I keep in my purse. Um, maybe a makeup contact compact.
Nice. Wonderful. So here you are with your makeup with an A mask on. Very
Little
natural
cyber duck.
looking. Just put some powder on the mask, on the helmet. Um, yeah, so
Well, it's
you
not a
can.
mirror, so if I'm inspecting my home and
Oh, there you go. Nice. Um, and we'll say this is a text only, encrypted, super safe, uh, by nature, very short conversations can happen on this because it's encoded in such a way where it's very, if it was just like a stream of data, a video or something like that, audio communication, it'd be easier to detect and track. Um, so the communication you get is we learned Tony Stark dead. We have long distance evidence, not enough. Can you get closer video footage? End.
I'll just send an affirmative.
Okay. One word response. Hard copy.
Yeah, just yes.
Um, Drop point A 0900.
A0900. Okay.
Yep. Um, so where can we go? Is there anything else? All right. So having received that communication ends, you close the compact. Anything you want to do?
Well, I reviewed the video footage earlier of Tony Stark, so I'm
Mhm.
going to figure out how to get that onto a device that can be separated because I assume I've just been watching a feed. So I'll need to figure out how to record it to something physical.
Yeah. We'll say that there are, you know, um, these like your suits themselves have um are designed to sort of replay these videos. And there are even and even some of the little squires that help you get set up are very fond of like loading all of your videos, all of your encounters with these aliens, loading it into your machines so the machine's AI can sort of learn and then take in the new feeds and just sort of like help you automatically respond to certain situations. Right? That's their big thing right now. Yeah, we're gonna put the AI in AIM, Claude Code, woohoo! And um, yeah, so we'll say that there are ports that very easily that you can, you know, put that in and then take them out as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to try to get a device. I don't know, is it like a USB stick or a
Yeah, it's a little more. I mean, you could say it's just like a heavy duty. It's built to like kind of bolt in. It could be removed, but it's solid enough to like withstand, um, withstand combat. So maybe there's a little panel that opens up, an armored panel that it can go in, but it's a thicker, heavier slot. It's definitely not a flimsy USB, but
Okay.
it's yeah.
Yeah. So I think I would want to, obtain one of those.
Yeah, think
But
of it closer to if you remember 2001 when they're powering down HAL. There's like these big things that they were kind of pulling out. It had like a little handle. As
right,
I recall, it's been a while since I've seen that, but something like that, but not maybe not quite that big, but something that your hand could like get in and like you really have to give it a tug, and maybe it's only about yay big, because your suit is only, especially your suit is pretty slim.
right.
So it's not it's only a couple inches thick, but it does have a handle that you would have to use to really give it a good yank. So it's solid in there.
Okay. Well, I would download the video footage of Tony Stark and what they found with the um with the body inside and the
Mhm.
uh chest, what they call
The
it?
chest bursters.
Chest burster.
Yeah.
And um uh I guess I don't know if they want any of the follow-up footage of the study of the aliens, but yeah, since they're focusing on Tony Stark's death, I guess just that immediate footage.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can look around for some other footage too. And maybe there's some other stuff. There's like they've collected. Actually, there's the arc reactor.
Well, yeah,
There's like a body, there's body
yeah.
parts, and they're pulling the arc reactor out of the bones, and it's like, oh, okay, that's
But they
interesting.
might also be interested in the zombified Black Widow and
Yep.
um, Hawkeye. So I could also include some of the footage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll say that, this is not the first time you've done something like this. So we'll say this piece for you is like old hat. And you even have access, like actual, like just you don't have to hack. You have all the access you need to go find this stuff. And there's one little folder that has the sort of higher sensitivity videos that aren't necessarily for all eyes.
Right.
And there's another video that looks like a sort of a compilation, and the thumbnail is just it looks like a warped piece of silverware,
Okay.
and that's new. It looks like it was just added there
Yeah.
today.
Hmm. Oh, does this have to do with the aliens and their acid blood? Yeah, maybe I should just
It looks like it. It looks like it because it looks like it's warped by acid.
yeah.
But
Okay.
when you click on it, though, it's not an alien that you see. It's Mark, and you see certain
Uh,
individual clips of Mark, some from his room, some from the cafeteria, one from the bathroom, and he's trying to draw blood with various different utensils. And he's
mm,
got like a little knife, and he's got like a fork and another one, and he's drawing blood. And one you can see his wound heal up, but you kind of dig it in there. You can see it's causing him pain, but he's doing it anyway. And then at one point, there's a little spurt of blood, and there's a sizzle, and you can see the metal fork kind of
ah.
like melting a little bit. And you see this look on his face that is like part like gleeful and part like horrified. It's just like a little mix of emotions he's got on his face. But it definitely looks like a new range of emotions you're not accustomed to seeing from Mark. He's not like he doesn't
No,
appear to be terrified.
it's
Yeah.
clear that this was
Yeah. Yeah. He mentions you hear him mumble something about being a god. Uh, so while that's happening, Mark, you get uh, an Outlook invite
uh,
for tomorrow afternoon, and the
I'm gonna get laid off.
it's just with HR, no one else.
Uh-oh.
Um, it's on 5 o'clock on a Friday,
Oh, yeah.
4:45 on a Friday. Um, yeah, it's for tomorrow afternoon, let's say like 2 o'clock. And it's it's a little familiar in that you used to get these back when you were regularly going in for experiments. You would
Mhm.
have things pop up and they would
Yeah.
give you a location. They wouldn't give you a lot of details, but they would give you instructions like don't eat for 6 hours before this, come hydrated. Like they would give you don't eat
Yeah.
a certain type of food. And you get some of those instructions, but it's like the whole afternoon is booked. And
I would think those wouldn't be that crazy unusual. I
yeah,
mean, yeah.
give me a logic check. Target number 11.
Non-combat logic check. Roll says 3, 5, 6, 16.
Nice. Um, yeah, so pretty quickly you notice that there is one difference between this Outlook invite and the previous experiments that you've gone through. The experiments were labeled as experiments. You knew they were experiments. They're not trying to hide that from you. That's what you were getting paid to do.
Mhm.
This one's entitled Procedure.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, that puts me on high alert. But I mean, at the same time, this is all very much what I signed up for. I I know I have some sort of contract. We've never worked out the details of that contract, but I know I have to cooperate for a while. So,
Yeah. Let's go back to
so
Jen. Jen, as you are collating these, and we'll say that there's trying to think here. So this hard drive would be in your suit,
Mhm.
but you're in your room, like in your mech suit. You're just wearing your regular AIM beekeeper suit.
Right.
So getting it on that hard drive, you'd probably have to be in the suit to like get it onto the
Mhm.
hard drive. I mean, maybe you could kind of hack it a little bit. It might be a little weird. Like if you're in the suit, bringing in information to put on board is like a completely normal thing to do.
Right.
Removing the hard drive might be weird, but that's a problem for later. But yeah, so you might have to like either get in the suit or near the suit to do that. But as you're reviewing the files, another video file pops up. And again, this is kind of weird that multiple files are popping up as you're
Hmm.
reviewing them. And it's one from earlier that day. You can see the timestamp of in the video is very close to the timestamp this file was moved to this directory. And the thumbnail is an image of Mark in the room where the xenomorph is being held.
Mhm.
And you can see his face very close up to this glass and tapping on it, and the alien reacting negatively. And then time passes, and you can see Mark's head get closer, and you can see the alien orient itself on him. And there's like a zoom in, enhance kind of situation. And then there's like a data feed of previous sessions with Mark, and the quotes begin popping up on the screen. And it's like suddenly I can understand hentai, or some sort of like very lighthearted thing that Mark might have said in the past. Um, and and then there's like assessments underway, recommendation procedure to 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 determine firsthand more, source of ability.
Okay.
Anything you want to do?
So Am I am I actually able to tell from this file that they are scheduling a procedure tomorrow? I mean, storyline, it's
Um, yeah, yeah,
that way, but
we'll say there's something in there. Like maybe you don't have like um you don't have the exact like Outlook invite that he got, but there's something in there about tomorrow there will be a procedure scheduled, and the intent of which is to figure out what the source of this ability is, but
okay.
no further details. Um, yeah, and it's under Dr. Crowder's uh,
So not Dr.
consultation. Yeah.
who has been like his direct doctor doing most of the procedures. It's Dr. Crowder.
Um,
Is Dr. Crowder like the lead
yeah, the
facility?
one that both Dr. Finnegan and Dr. Cade have as a mentor. Give me uh maybe at this point you need to like dig a little bit.
Yeah.
Give me a logic 13.
Okay. So logic. I got a 15 with a marvel.
Oh shit. You see and you get the full email exchange.
Okay.
Um and you can see there are a few people. All right, I'll give you something good. That was a good roll. You see an email exchange. Um there's a few people on it. Gary Greenberg, the sort of ostensibly the person in charge um, right now, is one of them, and Sophie is another.
Okay.
And uh, there are some questions about like are there any concerns about about this procedure? And Gary takes 3 seconds to respond, saying, "Nope, you know, happy to toe the party line. Anything you need, you got." Just immediately answers, "Nope, no problems here." And Sophie takes a little while longer to answer and says, like, "I do have some concerns. Why is this being scheduled so soon? Have you tried other less, uh, what's the word she would use? Um, Less invasive methods? Have you tried talking to him?" Um, And the answer from Dr. Crowder comes back and says, not my call. This came from the fourth subfloor. You
Oh.
are only aware of three subfloors in this building. You're on the lowest one right now.
Oh.
And then we'll say Sophie even comes back and says, like, the what now? And then that's the end of the communication.
Okay.
Actually, maybe there's like another response and Sophie's off copy. And there's another response to like just in terms of like an update to the schedule. And, you can see like Sophie's been taken off. It's just Gary is the only other person you would know that's on copy for this. And maybe it was something innocuous, like they extended the time by like half an hour or something or an hour. And you saw that Sophie was not on that
Hmm.
email.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I kind of think I should go talk to Mark. Find out where his head is at.
Okay. So yeah, you know where Mark is. Yeah, you know where his room is. So you can just go by. Mark, here, knock at the door.
Yeah, so I'll start off with some small talk. So did you see all those videos of the alien ship and everything?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's like the world is ending. There's like zombies and there's aliens and there's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Well, and I mean, guys in those suits, they're like superheroes. I mean, we felt like superheroes when we were in those suits too. It's pretty amazing,
I,
isn't
yeah, and I don't even need the suit anymore. I don't know what the hell happened, but like
it?
I'm I'm invincible. I'm invulnerable now.
Wow. That's
You
amazing.
saw, you were there. That shot took out like half of my suit, and I am still here.
Yeah, and you were able to get
And
up and freeze them good.
I'll
I was
I'll let
very,
you I'll let you in on a little secret.
yeah.
And I look around my room and the door, you mind if I close the door? I'll close the door. And like there's probably like a fork or something on a tray, on a cafeteria tray, and I'm like, don't be scared. And he like put out my hand and I take the fork and I'm just like, and I jam the fork in my arm. And it's like, and it's like, it's obviously painful. It's bleeding. And like, and I yank it out. And based on a healing factor, I'll let the narrator define how many hit points I just did myself damage and how quickly it heals
Yeah,
up. But
I would
like
say you
with
a fork would
yeah,
do less than 5 points of damage.
yeah. So
So
it
like
it
you would
it
heal
like
that back in seconds.
yes. And so I'm like, I I can't be killed. I can't be hurt.
Oh
I
my gosh, look at the fork. What just happened?
Yeah, and there's like sizzling.
yeah, that's going on too. I don't know
What
what's
is
up with that.
that? Do,
Don't know.
this happened before, Mark? Is this new?
This is new. I I've been here for a while and nothing ever really took. I've been through what, like 18, 19 experiments? Nothing ever really took. Nothing ever really took. So I don't know what's going on. But
And
That's
Jen, you would have seen the video of the acid from the that was taken back from the alien. So the same thing I described, where the alien blood slash acid was poured on the alien's head and didn't hurt the alien, but then started eating away at the like the metal, the wood, whatever else is in the room. Uh, this is very reminiscent of that in terms of the intensity of the reaction. It's
yeah,
not
things
like
are crazy right now.
hydrochloric acid,
right.
it's like
That's
weapons grade, acid.
yeah, wow. It's a good thing you heal quickly because how would you bandage the wounds? It would go right through the bandages.
Don't
Sorry,
know.
that's Jen's brain goes to practical concerns.
It's that's fair. That's fair.
So,
But yeah, I've been ever since we came back and like I ever since I got like hit, I've been kind of checking this out myself. I haven't really told anybody else about it. You're really like the first person I'm telling about it. Um,
so
so
Dr.
I'll say
Finnegan
keep it
not
to you,
him
keep it to yourself. I haven't had conversations.
or
I
Dr.
mean,
Kate,
I
Dr.
pardon me.
Dr. Kate or Dr. Crowder? You haven't. told any of them?
Yeah. I mean, they know that I lived. They know that I'm I mean, anybody could look at the damage on that suit and know, like I said, apparently I'm invincible. Apparently I'm invulnerable. So anybody could have seen that, but I've been testing this myself a little bit all by myself.
Hmm.
Ping, you get an Outlook update, Mark. It's you've been getting a couple of these. This time it's an update for the procedure tomorrow with updated instructions, and this time it says,
Do you have
"Oh,
any
you know
idea?
what? Don't eat anything after 9 a.m. or something."
Gotcha. Yeah, I look at the phone. I'm like, yeah, they're calling me tomorrow. There's a level of resignment in his voice just because, again, he's used to being a pincushion. He's used to being like a guinea pig. This is the first time that like he's ever had any reason to think that he's anything but that. So like but he's a little resigned. Yeah, they're calling me back in tomorrow.
You.
Pardon me?
Did they tell you what they're going to do?
No, but I haven't signed up for any new experiments recently. So usually, I mean, this- it's kind of a long procedure. Usually that's like when I start a new session, but like
And usually
I
your
haven't.
procedures are like half an hour long. Sorry, your experiments are half an hour long. It's the equivalent of you walk into a room and they slap you upside the face with a scorpion tail and just wait to see what happens and then they send you on your way. It's like there's not a lot of
Mhm.
prep for that. They're not very graceful. Um, uh, this is 8 times longer than any single experiment you've had.
Yeah, so don't quite know what's going on yet, but
There's a knock at your door.
I like it. Jen, who
We're in your place. You should get the
I
door.
know. All right,
Are you going
I
to what is your imagine this looks like the equivalent of a hotel room, small hotel room, or maybe like a hospital
mhm.
room. That you walk in, there's a little bathroom off to the side. You've got one sort of living area, the bed, maybe a little couch table,
Yeah,
um, little mini fridge, little
yeah.
kitchenette area.
I mean, I look at Jen. I like, who did you tell you were here? And because nobody ever comes to visit me, and you came to visit today, and like now I got to knock at my door, and I like walk towards the door to like get it. So I open the door.
All right, it's Sophie. Mark, can I come in?
Okay, Mark's brain is exploding because like he's been here for like several months, and like I don't think he's probably ever had anybody else in the room. To say nothing of like to say nothing now of like the two women like he works with. Sure. And I look over and like, you know,
Sophie in and closes the door behind her.
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah.
Sophie is a little shocked to see Jen here, but then she'll even say like, "Hi, Jen. What brings you here?" And you can see she puts on a face that you've put on yourself many times, probably, of just like everything's perfectly normal. Like, what are you doing here? I'm
Mhm.
asking, not at all concerned about what your answer might be.
We were just talking.
Yeah, we were reviewing, uh, the adventure that we just went through and all of the tapes and everything that's going on. It's a bit overwhelming.
Yeah. Um, and she's chewing her bottom lip. Um,
Well, Sophie usually has information about my procedures.
yeah.
So I don't mind. I'll just be like, so we were just talking, and like I've got this, and I hold up my phone. I didn't sign up for any new experiments. So do you know what this is?
She looks at you and then she turns to look at Jen. Jen, I'm going to ask you a weird question. And I have a feeling if you lied to me, I wouldn't be able to tell. Um, I, I, I know I can't trust you, but can I trust you? And then she looks at Mark.
She looks at Mark. So she's asking Mark if she can
Yeah,
trust
no,
Mark.
she's looking at Jen and saying, she's like, I know I can't trust you, like referring to something. And then she goes, but can I trust you? And looks at Mark. Like, can I trust you with something related to Mark? She's trying to intimate.
Yes, I will keep whatever you say in mind uh, with regards to how I protect Mark.
Okay.
I'm kind of freaking out now.
She looks around. She finds a small piece of paper and she writes a word on it and she hands it to you. And the word is vivisection.
Hmm.
And then she looks at Mark. And then she's kind of like looking around, shrugging, like, I don't know what, I don't know what they can hear. Um,
Thank you, Sophie.
and
Do I see the paper?
she'll look at you and um, yeah, she'll write that down, but she's looking at you like she's not sure if you know what that means. So underneath it, she writes last procedure or final procedure,
Right.
like the word final, final procedure.
I'm not an idiot. I understand vivisection is like dissection in high school.
Yeah,
And like I look at that and like I'm like, I never signed up for that.
yeah. And she just goes like, um, I she like swallows and she her eyes kind of get a little wet and she's like, I want to help.
You want to help him cut me up?
No, no, I want to help you get the fuck out of here. And she like she responds like almost like not angrily, but like intentfully. Like I mean, it is a little bit like angry, like no stupid is like, but like her corporate veil is gone. And maybe she was like a little like I don't want to say condescending, but like
Hmm.
just uh, yeah, just wanting to get her point across very directly. And yeah, she just says like, I don't know what I can do, but it's fucking too much. This isn't what I signed up for either, Mark.
Tomorrow morning at about 8 a.m., how about if Mark and I go out to
And she probably looks at you to just make sure your voice is low.
have receded from this area?
I think she speaks maybe a little bit more loudly, a little more confidently. And she goes, Mark, I think it's perfectly normal for you to be anxious about a procedure like this. It is a little longer than the ones you're used to, but trust me, it'll be fine. Maybe a sense of normalcy will help calm your nerves a little bit. I understand that you can't eat, and for you, that's kind of a big deal. We don't want you sitting around just waiting and getting more anxious. That's not going to put you in the right frame of mind for an experiment of this length. So, maybe the two of you could go out on a mission like you normally do, just to, just to make it seem like it's a normal day, because that's exactly what it is. And she's nodding like
And
only
Jen
with her
nods back.
head, and her eyes are going the other way. Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I'll make sure you have medical clearance to do that, but make sure you're back
Of course.
by, before, I think, pre experiment starts at 2.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, I'll
Mark,
see you. I'll definitely see you guys at 2 o'clock tomorrow. If there's anything you need in the meantime, you know where I am.
Thank you, Sophie.
Okay.
You're a good person.
It's like a little tear comes down her eye, and she wipes it away. And she can't speak. She just nods, and she just hurries to the door. Does a door, and just, you can see her red hair, kind of like flowing behind her. Normally, she's very measured in her walking, but this is like, you know, very quick movements out of the room. Anything you want to do before tomorrow? All right, door shut so you can talk, but anything you want to do before tomorrow morning?
well, that's fucked up. Maybe I'll be okay. Because, like, I can't be hurt, right?
Do you want to find out?
I'll heal.
I'm not entirely sure that they intend to do damage that can be healed.
I mean, I've just cut myself,
Hmm.
but like, I haven't like. I've heard there's other heroes that like grow whole limbs back. I haven't done that. I thought about cutting off a toe and I chickened out.
That's reasonable.
And also, I got distracted because the I, I'd focus more on cutting if I didn't have to keep getting new knives and forks and stuff like that.
Of course.
Cafeteria knives and forks are they're made of cheap. They're
Oh,
cheap shit.
really? And then they just get duller, I guess, once you use them.
Fuck.
I'm going to try to figure out a way to get you out permanently. Would you go somewhere else if there were some place that didn't want to dissect you?
Well, I hope there's a lot of places that don't want to dissect me. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, I guess that's everybody's dream. Somewhere they don't want to dissect you. Um, fuck. I don't even know any place else is safe.
I'll need to go back to my room and do some research.
All right. Yeah. Mark is just kind of like he's in his headspace. And he's like, all right, let me know what you find out. And like, yeah, I'll see you
Make sure
tomorrow
you
morning.
eat well tonight in case you're not going to eat according to the directions in the morning.
Yeah, really.
I don't know if he's going to
Well,
follow
it probably says like I'm probably not supposed to eat after like,
after
10
this.
o'clock or midnight or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's constantly getting updated. Like the last update said, actually, maybe you should make sure you don't drink anything after like 9 a.m.
Okay. So, all right. I will use I will use the cover of I have a last meal. I have to, I can't eat after, say, 11 or 12 or something like that, to be why I'm out of my room and walking around late, late, late in the evening,
Mhm.
near, as late as possible. Um, because yeah, this is done nothing but strengthen the concept of I have a bit of a bond. I have, the creature is kind of in the same position as I am.
Yeah, so you can walk by that room if you want. Door shut this
Yeah.
late.
So I will. Can I get into that room?
It's locked. Um,
Do I? Well, I just came from the cafeteria, right?
right.
So I will have a pocket full of cafeteria knives and forks. So we'll figure out how many I have. Figure like, at least four of each. And so can I bleed on the doorknob and like
So yeah, so let's
through the lock?
let's here are your options as I see them, but by all means add some.
Sure.
100% no roll needed if you wanted to burn this doorknob off. And we'll say the locking mechanism is like a key card type thing. It's
Hmm.
not like something you can pick. You could melt that hold, you could melt the whole locking mechanism and easily get into the room, but then that is going to be obvious to anyone who walks by. So the short answer is 100% no problem getting in, but then 100% somebody will know that it was probably you, given they have
Okay.
video of that. So that's the extreme.
Okay.
The other ways you could get in would be to get probably at this time of night, it would have to be one of the scientists' uh, cards.
Yeah, but I don't even know how I would get one of the scientist cards.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably at this point in their room sleeping.
Here's a question. I know that Sophie and Jen were talking about me going out in the morning.
Mhm.
Um, am I officially prevented from leaving the compound for any security reasons or anything? Or could I say I'm going to go for a walk or I'm going to run down to the corner bodega? Obviously, before the world ended and all the shit hit the fan, would the front gate basically like, you know, allow me freedom to enter, come and go as I please?
Probably not. Like, like there are people that would have to help you get into your suit. There's a whole thing. So like what Sophie did to set something up for tomorrow is like she's probably scheduling the correct personnel to make sure there's somebody there to operate the elevator to get you up, make sure there are people looking at the cameras to make sure there's nothing outside, make sure that you got somebody that can help you run all the diagnostics on the mech. Yeah, so there's probably like five people that need to be scheduled for that time period, and she's moving things around in their schedules on such short notice.
Okay, dumb idea just popped in my head. And the entire thing is a dumb idea because Mark is not an intelligent man. Uh, um, he's seen that the aliens have acid.
Mhm.
So, and the whole goal is to potentially try to free this creature. So the goal is to make it look like the creature somehow used acid to escape everything, not me. And because he really hasn't told anybody about his acid, except for Jen,
Well, the video, they've
Um,
got video of Forks kind of.
So
Mark doesn't know that.
I
That's true.
didn't tell him.
That's true.
That's
All
right.
right.
So if they find out, it has to be from Jen. There's no other option for them. I thought I could trust her. Um, so yeah. The goal, all right, going to try and make it look like I'm going in. Obviously, I'm going in from the door and then to the cage and whatnot. But like the goal is to like try and figure out a way to make this look like the creature escaped by using its acid, not me. Um, and I think that I am very intelligent and invincible, and I will therefore automatically succeed. What is it? The Dunning-Kruger effect? I think yes. That's actually going to be the next power I take, the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Um,
Which really should be a superpower.
okay, so walk me through this. What are you going to do? Actually, think about that. Let's go back to Jen, who is going to do some research.
Right. So I'm going to go back to my room and get out the
Mhm,
compact
mhm.
and
Freshen up.
freshen up. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to send a message. Um, let's see. Study participant would like to defect. Can I get him to you tomorrow? Question mark.
The same response you got before comes back, like the drop point A 0900.
Great. I'll give the equivalent of thumbs up, whatever it is.
Yep. Actually, it would just be like nothing, like silence. All right, back to Mark. What is your plan?
Hmm. Well, I hope they had steak knives in the cafeteria, but
Yeah, there's a
I'll
few
use a
left.
I'll use a butter knife if I had to. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go in through the main door, and I'm gonna, you know, right-handed cut. Yeah, it's basically cut palm of my hand, so it's bleeding. Smear it over this. Um, and if my hand is still bleeding enough that I can do it on the inside of the door, I will, because again, I'm trying to make this look like the creature got out.
Yeah,
You know, smart. um,
I'm smart.
yeah, exactly. So like, and so am I through the door now?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that until the whole mechanism is like melted. You can like even like move it with your hand. Like, you can have the acid spread on your hand. It's not doing any damage to your hand. Like your skin is actually resistant to it, and you're able to like push it in a little bit. Door pops open easily, and then you can smear some more of the acid around on the other side. It definitely is beginning to stink up a little bit in here,
Okay.
and the alien is just sitting there staring at you as you come in.
All right.
It looks a little bigger than the last time you saw it.
Fuck. I get up close to the glass, and I would imagine by this point my hand's kind of already healed up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, so I look at the alien, and okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at the
Hmm.
alien. I'm gonna cut my hand again.
Hmm.
I'm gonna put it on the outside of the glass, which I imagine the inside is potentially somehow protected, but I don't think the outside probably would.
No, we'll say the
And
outside. The outside is too, but
all right,
uh, but
there's
but
the
the
some sort of
alien,
mechanism.
you know, its lips kind of pull back a little bit, like pull up a little bit, and start to like quiver in anticipation as you do that, and then
Anticipation.
patient. And then once it doesn't do anything, its lips kind of come back down a little bit, but it's oriented on you like, all
Yeah.
right, strike one. Yeah,
No,
that's still alive,
but I say it with human speech, and then I will try to like fit my mouth around whatever sounds comprise the language that that I think we are the same.
Mm.
And
And
then I
it's
cut
speaking
and
more
I cut
clearly
myself.
now. Yeah.
I try to cut myself. What is there on the outside of this enclosure that looks like it would be potentially susceptible to anything?
Hinges, number one.
Deal.
Hmm.
Okay, good. Hinges are a win.
All right. So we'll say you
Okay,
got three thick, big ones that you got to work through. So each one would kind of like take a cut. We don't have to worry about the damage aspect to yourself, but I'm thinking more about like the time it would take to do that. It's like, cut, do that, focus on that for a second,
sure.
next action, do that. So I'm going to roll some
Sure.
dice.
Okay.
Is there
Let me know
anything
what I got to roll.
you tell me about what you might be doing in the room? Like from the moment you put the acid on the door, explain to me like your actions in there. Not
I
necessarily with the alien. I'm worried about like that other people might see or react to.
um he's trying to be as stealthy and as direct as he possibly can, which is, again, he's kind of an incompetent buffoon. So, he's doing the Scooby Doo, like, uh Scooby Doo tiptoe sneak.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to like, play like, rolling to hide under tables and shit like that or whatever.
Right.
If there's obvious cameras, I'm going to try the best I can to avoid those. The big thing is, as I'm like taking off the hinges, I'm like just mumbling, half talking to myself, half talking to it, and just being like, we both got to get out of here. Don't kill me. Don't make me regret this. You know, just like, I know this is dumb, but that sort of like panicked, uh, panicked kind of like just like mumbling like, I don't believe I'm doing this. Just don't fuck me up. Don't hurt me. Don't kill me. You know, we both got to get out of here. And like that's that.
Yeah. And then
And then all the lights go on and AIM guards show up.
yeah. Um and we'll say, let's see. He'll respond by or it. I don't know that it has a gender. They will respond with when you said I think we are the same. Um just like I observe it to be so. Might be a good, like that is my observation as well. Or maybe even that is what we observe. Like maybe as a yeah, I'll say that is what we observe as well.
Okay.
And it kind of moves to the back of the room, um, kind of crouches down a little bit and patiently waits.
Okay.
All right. First hinge.
You needed to roll or anything?
Nope, I'm rolling vigilance.
Okay. Hey, better, hey, better, hey, better.
Okay.
Swing.
First hinge is melted off. You're going to go for the middle hinge next or the bottom hinge.
Let's go for the middle.
Okay.
Survey says.
Middle hinge is off.
Yay.
No alarms,
Okay.
anything of the sort.
How flimsy or weak does the door seem to be now?
Flimsy
Is it
enough where you need to consider,
it falling on me?
yeah, well, whether you want it to fall period. If it fell on you, I mean, you have a very low melee, right? So you don't have
Yeah.
a, so you're not strong like
My
your
my
clone is.
melee my melee ability score is -2.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, unless you can get very creative, you're pretty sure that once that hinge goes, this door is way too big, way too thick, way too heavy for you to control it, and it will fall down and make a very big noise.
Hmm. Hmm.
Wait,
Does the door seem weakened enough that the critter can bash it and break it down now?
Give me a logic check. I'm not going to tell you the target number.
Okay. Rolling a logic check, and I rolled at 13, but I have a charmed life, and
Hmm.
so I'm going to re-roll. Uh, I'm just going to go for the number. I rolled a 551, so I'm going to re-roll the one,
Mhm.
and that one now gets me a 17.
Wow. Yeah. So you're pretty confident that it will be able to. And you can see, I mean, you can see its size now. And it reminds you very much of like, say, a large cat. And you're reminded of like how a a tiger is like way fucking stronger than it looks. I mean, this thing's just
Sure.
corded like muscle, and you're like, yeah, this thing could probably pounce from where it is on the fly, and probably that hinge would go.
Gotcha. Good. Okay. And can I can I tell the creature that basically wait until I leave and then you'll be able to bash this door down? Or is that too complex of a logic statement for
Um,
again, if we're talking again, I am trying to figure out like it's a language, but it's also an intelligence question.
yeah, I mean, it might not have a concept like the concept of time might be something that's difficult to communicate, but you can give it a shot. Actually, you know what? Give me another roll because I think we should have made a roll. I'm not going to go back and change it, but this is like a new scene. So you'd have to make another logic 13 check for your power to
All right.
reestablish communication.
Okay, non-combat check logic
Okay.
says I rolled a 13 standard. I could, depending on when you wanted to do this, I could throw the charmed life in there and do a re-roll if you wanted to go
Do
higher.
it. Yeah.
Then I'm going to, I've already got the hit, so I'm going to re-roll, and I'll re-roll the 6 in the middle, see if I get a marvel. Re-roll says it's still 13,
Okay.
164.
Yeah. So you have standard communications. Yeah. So
Mhm.
go ahead and tell me what you want to try and communicate.
I so the door the door's only got one hinge left, and
Right,
it's if I take out the other hinge, it's going to fall and make a lot of noise.
right.
So I'm assuming at this point the door looks kind of a little floppy or a little loose in the door frame, if nothing else, right?
Um, I would say it's the hinges that are like melting are sort of more obvious, um, but let's put it this way. Anybody who came into this room would see what happened to the doorknob first, and that would be more alarming than two out of three hinges being messed up.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm not gonna risk it being dumb or stupid. I'm just gonna tell it. I'm just gonna tell it to get ready to run. And and I'm assuming that's gonna be something, you know, it'll comprehend. So I'm like, yeah, get ready. And I go ahead and take out the last hinge, and hopefully the door falls outward.
Yeah, I'll say you outward towards you or inward
Yes,
towards it.
outward towards me.
Yeah, yeah, you can. I mean, the hinge is on that side anyway, so it's probably would be leaning that way. But if you wanted to get that to you, you could like, without threatening it falling on you, you could easily just kind of nudge it a little bit your way if that's what you wanted to do. So yeah,
Mhm.
so it's coming down. What are you doing?
Yeah. So use the acid. It's coming down. I avoid it. It's like I get the hell out of its way.
Yeah.
Um, and does it look like the creature is going to be like, blowing past it and like busting out? I assume that's what it's going to be doing.
It's still
That's what I asked it to
haunched.
do. That's what I told it to do.
Yeah, I mean, at
Is
this
it?
point, it's looking to see the door go down.
Yeah.
So the door goes down, boom,
Boom.
and the xenomorph leaps from the far side, leaps, clearing like 20 feet in one bound. It jumps on the ground, its nails kind of digging into the ground. You can see now, you didn't get a good look at it before, but it's developed a tail. It's got a sharp barb at the end.
I think I
And
might have made a mistake.
it takes one step towards you, two steps towards you. The tail comes over its head, reaches out to your face, and just kind of like rubs its stinger. It's not a stinger, but this is barbed tail. Just rubs it on your cheek, doesn't draw any blood. And then you see it jump into the hallway, and you like kind of look out the hallway, and you can see it is running down the hallway on the ceiling. It's just running
Okay.
on the ceiling. And, some ceiling tiles are coming down and stuff, or chunks of ceiling are coming down, but uh, it may be maybe at some point it's like, this isn't stable enough. And it's like running on the walls now. And then it like bangs a right and it's out of your view. You probably have a few seconds to act before alarms start going off.
I do one last thing. I'll take one last slash, and I'll spray, I'll splatter whatever blood I can around on the inside of the door, and then I wanna get the fuck out of there too.
Yeah. Give me make an attack roll. Um, you're using blast or burst.
Elemental burst chemical +3 agility, blah blah blah.
So you're going to use the base. Do you have blast or just burst?
Elemental burst.
Okay. All right. So no edge on that. All right. So yeah, give me a roll. Well, you can
Let's
have the edge
see.
from your charm life.
Character makes ranged attacks against enemy in line of sight. So that's agility, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so agility score.
And the target number is 10.
Any damage reduction?
No.
Okay, so roll. This is a 2-4-2, so I rolled an 11 in
Okay.
this.
And you can use your charm life to get an edge. So you
Sure.
hit.
Yeah. So splatter,
Oh yeah.
splatter
What'd you get
growth of blood.
on the Marvel after the reroll with the edge?
Oh, so no, I didn't. But all right, so I will do that. Reroll. See if I do get a mark. Oh, fantastic. And now wait. The reroll, I rolled. So originally I rolled an 11, and that
Hmm.
was a 2-4-2. I re-rolled the Marvel dice, and I got a 2-1-2, which means it's a fantastic, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
only an 8.
Oh, something's wrong with the math, but uh,
So my roll, the 3 dice in the first roll were 2-4-2, and it totaled up to an 11. The
okay.
second roll was a 2-1-2, but the one is technically a Marvel, so it's a fantastic. I guess that would be a fantastic failure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Who knows what happened with that roll, but yeah, a one on the
Okay.
middle die is a Marvel. So let's say the
Okay.
five.
Anyway.
Cool. So that's kind of what I was looking for. Um, we'll say what happens with the Marvel, which does double damage, of course. And I'm less worried about the damage and more worried about that, not more concerned that you got the Marvel on there. We'll say what with that Marvel, like sometimes like with powers, doing a Marvel can sometimes unlock things. Like if you wanted to get a stunt, this doesn't apply, but just as an example,
Mhm.
talking about like how the game mechanics are at play here. In
Sure.
order to get a stunt for a particular power, you need to have rolled a Marvel with that power. So
Okay.
sometimes getting a fantastic is something that unlocks. So I think in this situation, what we'll say is what unlocks is your ability to kind of like shoot this acidic blood without the knife. Like
Mm.
it kind of goes through your pores without, maybe like your fingernails or
Okay.
however you want to describe it, but you don't need to cut yourself. You instinctively know how to just open yourself up in a way that biologically you couldn't even conceive of that, but you have changed. And in your mind, it's got to be something to do with the proximity with this creature. It has to be. It's like it feels like something but just evolved in you after it
Hmm.
touched you. And then you can do this thing 5 seconds later.
Fucking weird.
Alarm goes off.
Oh, I'm running like crazy.
Jen, you're in your room. Alarm goes off. You've
Okay.
conducted your research.
Yeah, I guess I would
It
find
is
out.
not 9 a.m.
Oh,
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
uh, yeah. So I need to find out why the alarm's going off.
Yep. You walk outside. Um, you can see there is um, there's plaster, there's concrete on the floor as you open the door. But you didn't really hear anything go by. Maybe you heard a slight rustle. And then you turn to your right and you see Mark kind of hustling around the corner, kind of following this path of destruction.
Mark, what are you doing out?
Up, up, up. It got out. I don't know how.
What?
Mark panics. Mark panics. It's like, ah! And that's the lie. That's what he's going with. He's like, I don't know how it got out.
Make
I
a
was on my way back from the cafeteria and like the
Mark,
door.
make a ego check. Jen, make a
Okay,
vigilance check. Tell me who gets higher.
ego check says original is an 11.
I got a
Uh,
10 on vigilance.
holy shit! Really?
Okay,
I
so Mark
didn't.
is freaking out about something. The
But he's telling you
the
the
terror is real, and so he blurts something out that doesn't sound natural, but it just sounds like he's really freaking scared about something.
Right? Here, get in my room.
Oh, all the times he's wanted to hear you say that. All right.
Um,
So yeah, we both hide in the room.
okay, you hide in the room. You hear a couple of people run by, um, and you hear one of them shout, "Yep, his room is, you know, 6 doors down that way. Yeah, I'm sure it was on video. Of course, I'm sure. Yes, it was him. It was Mark."
What did you do?
I was just at the cafeteria. That was it. That then like
What did you do
it.
for real?
You hear a blood curdling scream coming from outside. You hear gunfire.
Ugh.
You hear more gunfire. The gunfire is not stopping.
They were gonna. I was just on my way back from the cafeteria, and like
Uh-huh.
it, like they were gonna kill it too.
Kill what?
Mark looks very much like a little boy who's like been caught and he's like doesn't really know what to do. Uh, that 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 alien.
You let the alien out.
It's just gonna run away. It's just gonna run away. Just let
That
it go.
So the screaming stops. The gunfire stops.
Okay. See, it's all right. It's fine.
somebody's dead and we don't know if it's the aliens or the humans.
No, I couldn't leave it here to get dissected any more so than like I wanted to be dissected myself.
That's
Would you
very
want to be dissected? Would you want to be dissected?
no.
So there. Nobody does. It didn't deserve to be dissected. I'd let it go. He's all trying to like embrace the honesty and like puff himself up and be like, there you go. I saved a life. It's what heroes do.
Okay, but I don't know how we're going to save your life now if they know that you let the alien go.
I,
Alerts are
it got
going
up.
off,
It got off.
Jen,
It
in
got out on its
your
own.
helmet. Nothing is happening on the inside of Mark's helmet. In fact, Mark's helmet's dark.
Okay.
Um, your helmet, there are alerts going out. Uh, a
Warning,
couple
armed individual.
transmissions that were cut off. Um, uh, you see footage of one other AIM agent looking down at two shredded human bodies, just holes where their chests should be, blood splattered all over the place. Um, um, and like a blood trail kind of going off.
Okay, so now I'm sure it wasn't the alien that died.
Yeah.
Okay. Um,
It's just going to get loose. It'll leave. It just wants to be free, and it's
yeah,
exactly the same as what we're
I have
doing.
no doubt it's going to be free. I don't know about you, and I don't know about me for harboring you now. So, I mean, my suit is here. Where is your suit? Yeah, and wait, no, you were saying it requires like people to get us into those suits and stuff. Like we can't
I
just
mean, you could
Could
give
we
it a
potentially
shot.
help each other in it? Could we
Yeah.
potentially put each other in a suit?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's go.
Okay.
okay.
Um, so we'll say um
I didn't. It got out on its own. That's it. It got out on its own.
Sure.
okay. So what do you want to do?
I think we got to suit up and try to get out because I don't think they're gonna sit around and let us get a good night's sleep.
Mhm. All
And
right. Yeah, so you can make
start
your way towards
inspection
the
tomorrow.
garage. We're on the third floor. That's where the garage is, and then there's an elevator that takes it up to the first. So
Okay.
it is the direction in which the xenomorph went.
Cool. The xenomorphs making a path.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
follow. You hear, you know, more gunfire. Uh, uh, not a
I
lot of
haven't
people
actually
have
got shot by a gun yet.
not a lot of people have opened their doors or anything like that. So it's like this whole, this area where all the bedrooms are. Maybe there's like two doors that are open, and then you see multiple AIM agents kind of like lying there dead. And you go around the corner and you see the Xena again. You hear more gunfire, then the gunfire stops, and you go around the corner and you see at the end of the hall the xenomorph, which isn't even fully grown yet, its tail in the air with a body impaled on it, and the body's still like having some movement. Gun falls to the ground. You just see like the aim help, cylindrical aim helmet on with the faceplate. And then Jen, you would see the first person view of of this person. It's a nameless AIM agent, and uh, the face is of the alien is drooling. The mouth opens wide, wide, and you can see there's something inside of its mouth as its jaws get wider and wider and wider. You can see what looks like another tiny little set of teeth in there, and you're almost like peering into the screen, and then bam, the little inner jaws, you see glass crack, and then everything goes black as like this almost like hydraulic, almost like piston uh, uh, mouth just comes right at the screen, shatters the screen, and then you can see in real life as like this little mouth just shot out of its big mouth, crush the body, arms go limp immediately, and he slouches down to the ground and he kind of looks at you, Mark, and then looks at Jen, and then looks at you, um, and um, with the tail still in the body starts dragging it towards the elevator bays. Now, this is just the regular elevator. This isn't the big industrial garage elevator. Uh, and then it just like, you know, uh, gets its claws into the elevator doors and starts like pulling them open. And there is not an elevator there. It's just a shaft. And then it drags the body into the elevator shaft and disappears. And the way to the garage is clear.
All right.
We got to go.
Get out.
Okay. So you run to the garage. You can see your mech suits are there. Um, uh, but then you realize uh, without your suit sort of lit up, Mark, you will not be able to pilot. Like your access has been cut off. You will not be able to pilot one.
Okay.
But Jen, your access is still on.
Okay, well, I want my super suit on if I can get
Yeah,
into it. That's
yeah.
all.
You can get one in.
Um,
Um, and we'll say you get another ping on your notification that you've got a communication coming in onto your compact.
okay, so I get out the compact. What does it say?
Okay. It says gunfire observed or um, alarms observed at AIM HQ. Status.
Evacuating.
Explain.
Alien escaped. Have defector with me. Moving
Ooh.
to drop point immediately.
Roger. En route. Yeah. And with that, no more communications come in. You start hearing more people kind of like coming out in the hallways, you know, voices louder, more of them. Uh, Not running tenant because they see a lot of carnage and they see like weird footsteps on the walls and on the ceiling, and they're like, what is happening? And they see this incredible amount of damage that was done to like bodies, and they see, you know, blood stains with like viscera on the ground, but like no body, but they are getting closer and closer. So what do you do?
So we got to get out.
Okay. So Mark, you can actually help her get into hers, and that would help. And hers is a little
Yeah.
easier to get into because it's the smallest of the mech suits. It's more, you know,
Sure.
it's smaller. It's designed to be sneaky and stealthy. Um, so Jen, just give
And
me a, logic check just to see if you can kind of speed up the uh the
Okay.
the booting of this thing. Target
I
number
got a
13.
15.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, so there are, you know, like diagnostics that you can just like, you know, escape, you know, like or
Okay.
not, nope, we don't, just keep going, keep going. Uh and you can power through all of those. Um Mark, as you get her in and as she's powering up, an AIM agent comes, sees you, um, uh, is able to detect who you are based on your ID. So their heads up is working and they can see that you are you. And one of them
mhm.
goes to take a shot. Roll initiative.
Okay. Do. Initiative is a 14. I can re-roll. I will re-roll to get a higher number and re-roll that.
Okay.
And I got a 15.
Okay. Jen, what'd you get?
I think I get an edge on initiative. Yes, I do. Okay.
Oh,
Um,
wait.
10, but I'm gonna re-roll the marble,
Okay.
right?
And I should not have had an edge on initiative. My charmed life is only an edge on single actions per round, not
Okay.
initiative. So I rolled a 14.
Okay.
And mine did that thing where re-rolled is exactly the same number. Way too
One in
often.
six chance. Okay. Both of you do go first. Jen, would you get 15?
No, I got a 10.
Oh, 10. Okay. I'm sorry. So Mark, you get to go. So you see an AIM agent there raising a rifle at you. close enough
Okay.
where you could use acid if you wanted to.
Sure. What the hell? I'll try that
Okay.
because I haven't tried it yet, and I don't know what it's going to do to flesh. But he's still panicky and dumb.
Hmm.
So, sure. What do I have to do to potentially
Agility.
do an acid spray?
Yep.
Agility. Okay. Do. And any damage reduction? Nope. Right.
Nope.
Roll. Roll. And I rolled a 19.
Holy moly. All right. You want to,
664.
yep. So that's definitely a hit. You're going to play, you
Uh,
can get your charmed life on the Marvel die. See if you can get a Marvel out of it.
sure. Why not? Because, I might as well do more damage. Uh, no, still 664.
Okay. What was the damage on that?
Damage would be 15.
Okay. Awesome. Yep. So, acid splashes over him. He's like, "Ah." He does return fire at you. Hits 14. Agility 14.
My agility is 13, so that hits.
Okay. 14 points of damage on you. He also rolled
Okay.
a 6. Yeah. So, Jen, you see two bullets, poof, poof, go right through Mark's suit. Your turn.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
And we'll
so
say at this point, like your legs are in, like,
I
you're,
was
you're
gonna say,
booted,
do I have
but
full access to the suit
yeah,
yet?
sure. Why not?
Okay.
Again, like your hands are free and this isn't like completely covering you. At least not yet. So if you wanted to like use like a pistol or something, I'd say you can do that before you kind of fully get in the suit.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably my best approach then is uh yeah, just take a pistol and shoot back at them and then try
Okay.
to shoot and get out of there if possible.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. So you can do that.
An agility attack, right?
Yep. Agility.
All right. And no damage reduction.
No damage reduction. Target number 11.
15
Yep.
with a
That's a hit.
6 on the marble. So that's damage is 13.
Uh, you don't get any pluses. Or you only get a +1.
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Your agility was low for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. And Van, you did 15.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is barely, barely up. Um, so Van, yeah, you go again.
Is he down as if he's going to fire again, or is he like still?
Yeah, I mean he's hurting, but he's raising the rifle at you with like one arm now. We're getting ready to fire again.
Can I run up and try to grab the rifle and take the rifle away from him?
Sure.
Okay. What do I have to do for
It
that?
would be a melee check, or you could like try to kill him and take it off his dead body. Your choice, though.
Gonna do a melee to try and take it away from him, and I know this is gonna be comedy. But I do have a charmed life, and so I will
All right.
try this.
Actually, yeah, I mean he's not like Chuck Norris over here, so he's only a
Yeah,
target number. He's a scientist, so he's target number
and
11.
if I'm up close and he shoots me, it's gonna be a problem for him anyway. So
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. We'll
So
say
all right,
I'm
I'm gonna try and take the gun away. So melee and douche. And no damage reductions. So cross your fingers and roll. I rolled 13, and that's without doing Charmed Life or anything like that.
yeah.
Um,
We'll say you get a grip on it. I don't feel like looking up the rules. We'll play this fast and loose. We'll say you. So what's your intent to like take it away from him so you can use it?
uh, take it away from him so he can't shoot us again.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
just
So we'll
shoot
say
me
yeah.
again.
It's he's still got a grip on it, but you've got a grip on it too, and you're kind of wrestling for it. So it's
Okay.
his turn. He's going to try and oh yeah. He was one away from an ultimate fantastic. He rolled the marvel on that. but he completely, yeah, he rolled a 615. So
Yowza.
Marvel, yeah. So yeah, he absolutely rips it back from your puny little fingers. You know, like, ah. But that was his action, is just to take it back. But now you hear more voices coming behind him. Jen, your turn.
We got to get out of here. Um,
Okay.
am,
I look back at Jen. How suited up is she?
yeah, I was gonna say, am I enough in the suit that we could start running?
You probably could like finish that up and start running this turn if you didn't take a shot.
Okay. Um, yeah, I'm thinking getting out of here is a higher priority than shooting.
Okay. All right.
Sure.
Yeah, so you can make your, you can get onto the little pad there that kind of go like there's a little elevator bay that kind of goes up. You can run towards that, and it gets back to Van's turn, back to Mark's turn.
Okay, so
You're
she
you're you're
is.
like you're right by this guy. He's just rested it back. Jen's run like 25 feet away to there's this elevator pad that's got some control panels on it that you just kind of hit one button to go up, and these yellow lights start to spin, and there's a hydraulic elevator that will start to go up soon.
All right, so I break away from the guard and I try to run towards the elevator to like, I'm assuming she's on the elevator and I just
Yep.
need to hit the button to like start us going up.
Yep,
So
she already
let's.
hit it, so it's like on its way up. So you can just
Oh,
kind
then,
of crawl up
then
on it.
I have to I have to go, or else I'm
Yeah.
going to get left behind. Got it. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
so
So you can like
I
we'll
I
say if
run
it's a
to not
full
be left
round,
behind.
yeah, you can like move this 25 feet, use your three, feet of jump or three spaces of jump, and you can kind of get on there and roll over. And we'll
Yep.
say that goes up. Other AIM agents come in, see you in there, see the guy all acided up, start firing at you. But as the elevator gets higher and higher, you can kind of duck under it, and you get to the top floor. Doors open up. A very quiet New York City is in front of you. No noise, no cars, no crowds, dark night, starlight, clear night. It's still chilly out, right? This we originally said this was like
Hmm.
after the holiday season, I think. So it's like
Yeah.
it's pretty freaking cold right now. Jen's fine, just thermo, in there, but you're just in your regular suit.
I'm
So
wearing the big type suit.
Yeah, we'll say the two of you run off into the night towards the drop point, and we will end it there.
Hopefully, passing a clothing store on the way.
All right. Well, this is not the way I expected this episode to go, but
Really?
yeah, yeah, really. I mean, I never have any expectations on how it's gonna go, but I am excited. And this, for anyone listening, like let's see the timing of this, like uh, I gotta figure out
Mark
how
was
to. I just gotta figure out what order I should release these in. I think I'll have to release this one last, just based on everything that happened. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's always been conceived to be like, you know, the like idiot in the room.
I can hear
But
Fish
like,
right now. I leave you guys alone for one game. I don't come to one
yes.
game, and you do every dumb thing that's ever happened in an alien movie all together at once.
Well, maybe.
Cool. All right, man.
It really just comes down to like, you know what? For the first time in Mark's life, for the first time in Mark's life, he felt he had a life worth living that was somewhat even like good slash heroic. He was invincible, and then very rapidly the storyline took a turn. So he both realized that like that could still get taken away from him. first time he had a life that he was worried about being taken away. Even though now he's invincible and nearly a god, blah blah blah. Um, and again, yeah, the whole like empathy with this creature. You know what? Yeah, it was a big day for Mark. So
All right, cool. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. And we will be back with who knows what, who knows when. I got to ingest all of this. So thanks for listening, everybody. Talk soon. Bye bye.